Hi, this is Pastor Terry McCarthy again from United Lutheran Seminary. I am right now outside a doctor's office for one of Susan's medical appointments. And I just figured I'd treat you with this beautiful quilt behind me. I just saw it here in the hallway and thought it would be a nice treat. I am sharing with you these beginning days of Lent, the season of Lent, excerpts from Henri Nouwen's book, The Life of the Beloved, one of my very favorite works. And I'd like to continue to share a passage with you. This again is from the prologue, and he is telling us of his interaction with his new friend Fred, who he wrote this book for, and that'll become clear through the excerpt. But I wanted to share with you this story that he tells of his interactions with Fred. One day while walking on Columbus Avenue in New York City, Fred turned to me and said, "Why don't you write something about the spiritual life for me and my friends?" Fred was familiar with most of what I had written. Often he had given solid advice on form and style, but seldom did he feel connected with the content. As a Jew living in the secular world of New York City, he couldn't find much comfort or support in words that were so explicitly Christian and so based on a long life in the church. As I gradually came to know Fred's friends, though, and got a feel for their interests and concerns, I better understood Fred's remarks about the need for a spirituality that speaks to men and women in a secularized society. Much of my thinking and writing presupposed a familiarity with concepts and images that for many centuries had nourished the spiritual life of Christians and Jews. But for many people, these concepts and images had lost their power to bring them into touch with their spiritual center. Fred's idea that I say something about the spirit that his friends and he could hear stayed with me. He was asking me to respond to the great spiritual hunger that exists in countless people who walk the streets of big cities. He was calling me to speak a word of hope to people who no longer came to churches or synagogue, and for whom priests and rabbis were no longer the obvious counselors. "You have something to say," Fred kept telling me, "but you keep saying it to people who least need to hear it. What about us? What about me and my friends, who are young, ambitious, secular men and women wondering what life is all about? Can you speak to us with the same conviction as you speak to others who share your tradition, your language, and your vision?" Fred's question became much more than the intriguing suggestion of a young New York intellectual. It became that plea that arose on all sides, whenever I was open to hear it. And in the end, it became for me the most pertinent and the most urgent of all demands. And I quote now and here when he says, "Speak to me," when he says about this plea, "Speak to me about the deepest yearning of our hearts, about our many wishes, about hope, not about the many strategies for survival, but about trust, not about new methods of satisfying our emotional needs, but about love. Speak to us about a vision larger than our changing perspectives, and about a voice deeper than the clamorings of our mass media. Yes, speak to us about something or someone greater than ourselves. Speak to us about God." This is what Nouwen perceived he was hearing from his friend, and the call to speak about God. Let us pray. Dear Lord, may we be open to your Spirit, calling to us in the presence of others, in the environment around us, in the inner voice of the Spirit, calling us to speak about how we experience your love, to share ourselves openly and transparently, and our spiritual life and resources with those who might need to hear it, with those who are begging, those who are desperate to hear it, like Fred was in this story of Nouwen's. And may we be open to those who speak to us about their spiritual lives, about their personal relationship to God, and about God's love in their life. May we not dismiss their stories, and may we never, Lord, dismiss our own and our opportunity to share your love and the story of your relationship and your offering of grace and renewal and peace and all goodness to us. And I wish you, my friends, again, that same peace and all goodness this day. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.